Good morning. Listen, you guys, God is doing amazing stuff right now. You look around and you're like, well, that's odd, or I've never seen that happen before, or maybe a number keeps coming over and over, like the same number, and you're like, I just saw that. What in the world? Moses was walking out in the desert. He's a young guy taking care of sheep and goats. And there's this burning bush. I've heard a couple stories about burning bushes out in the desert in those days. One is that they were not rare. One of the stories that I've heard is that bushes spontaneously combust in the desert out there, and so it wouldn't have been a big deal. But Moses felt like it was something different, something unusual. So Moses stopped and looked. He stepped aside. He checked it out. He didn't just blow by it like, oh yeah, it's just another bush burning. Something in him knew. I don't know. Maybe it was the third bush that he saw burning that day, or maybe the seventh. Maybe the number that God was showing him was the seventh. I don't know. Maybe it was the 222 bush that he saw burning. I don't know. I know that for a reason that, God placed this, whoa, in his heart. He stopped. He stepped aside and he said, what's going on with this bush? And it was because he stopped and recognized a sign and a wonder from God, that God spoke to him out of the bush. So you guys, when you see a number repeating, when you see a red sky in the morning and a red sky at night, which that doesn't make sense, when you see a rainbow in the sky, when you notice that something is out of the ordinary, let's stop attributing that stuff to coincidence, you guys. Let's stop attributing that stuff to, oh, well, that was just a weird day. And let's start stepping aside and saying, God, what are you doing? Because do you know what I think? I think that there are signs and wonders all around us. And I think we don't notice them. We don't see them because we're like, well, that's a big deal. Miracles only happen once every 500 years. This cannot be a miracle. And I think God's doing these little, will you stop and pay attention miracles? And if you will, I think they will begin to get bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, remember that time that you were so sick that your whole family thought they were going to lose you? Do you remember that? And you said, yeah, I'm here. No, that's a miracle. Remember that time that your broken bone healed like way faster? And you were like, yeah, calcium. No, that's a miracle. Do you remember that time that you swerved off the road, but you caught it just in time before you hit? Angels pushed you back on the road. You guys, we need to start accepting these small little signs as the miracles that they are. And when we do, we'll be like Moses when we step aside and say, hold on a minute, there's something happening with this burning bush. Then God's going to start to do more and more and bigger and bigger. When you take that little step of obedience, okay, you're telling me to say this. It feels super weird. I don't understand it, but my heart's beating 100 miles a minute. And you take that step of faith. It's like a ladder. It's like stairs. The next, and the next, and the next, and the next. And there you go. Next thing you know, we're watching God do outright miracles in front of our eyes. Blind eyes see, deaf ears hear, legs grow out, cancers are gone, dystrophies are gone in Jesus' name. Why? Because we chose to believe. This is not just coincidence. This is God, and He is big. I was reading in Acts chapter 2, verse 22, and Peter's like just making this sort of speech. But what he says is, you knew that Jesus walked in victory. How did you know? Because He performed many signs and wonders by the power of God. My Bible says, we will do, we will see, we will experience even greater works than these. So today, this week, open your eyes and see. That's not a coincidence. That is a sign and a wonder. Believe it. And watch them multiply and change lives. And point people to Jesus. And point people to heaven. Open your eyes, step aside, take a peek. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Have a great week.